Welcome to the FeelsCast. I'm Adam.
And I've eaten this!
And if that's any indication, this week we're talking about food anime. This is all anime based around food, cooking food, eating food, looking at food, having sex with food. Not that one, but still.
Actually, yes, that one.
Whoa. I don't watch that. I mean, I don't admit to watching that. Now that's what I call food porn.
That was terrible, Adam.
Thank you. Anyway, off of that. I've always liked anime about cooking, anime about food.
I mean, same. Who doesn't? It's food, it looks delicious, and you want to eat your screen, but you can't.
Anime makes it look better.
It really does.
There's a show this season all about cooking from a really interesting angle. It's called Sweetness and Lightning. I might have touched on it in our preview.
Possibly.
I don't remember. We're really bad at this. It's a show about a single father. He's a high school teacher, and he's raising a like a kindergarten age daughter, and he doesn't know how to cook because he doesn't eat a lot of food. He grew up being like, I only need like convenience store shit, and his wife did all the cooking because she actually cares about food. And then she is dead, and the babby wants to eat real food. She's like, I want to eat real meat, and he's like, I don't know how to cook.
What does real meat taste like?
And through a series of events, he's now learning how to cook through one of his high school students. I don't want to get into the shipping involved because it's honestly kind of cute, but but every time I think that, I remember she's still in high school, and I'm like, in Japan, but it's still gross. Maybe they'll do something after she graduates. I don't care. But he's learning how to cook through her mom's old restaurant.
Cool.
And they cook like really, like, it's simple food. It's food like that kids would eat. Like the first episode, they just make white rice. They make really good pot white rice, like the
and then mac and
pot.
Cheese.
Japanese kids.
Mac and cheese.
No, well they make au gratin. What's it called?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, with the bechamel sauce and its vegetables and stuff. And
Damn, I want mac and cheese.
That whole episode was to get her to eat green peppers, because that's the Japanese kids' version of like
spinach.
Peas or spinach or something.
Broccoli.
Yeah, that they hate green peppers. And
you know what's really weird? I don't really like green peppers either.
I like them. I don't like them.
I like
cooked.
them on pizza.
I don't like them on pizza. I like them raw.
I don't.
Yeah.
I like red peppers.
Red peppers are good.
They're tastier.
But there's a really funny scene because the whole plan is to get her to eat actual red peppers or green peppers, and she's just like, I hate them. So they make the au gratin and she eats them, and as she's eating, she's like, I taste something bitter. And it's like, oh well, she ate a piece of the green pepper at least, you know. It was all chopped up fine. But then she feeds her father a spoonful. It's all like cute, like, oh, the daughter's being cute with the father. He's eating it, and he just pauses like, she put all the green peppers under the layer of cheese in that spoonful, and the daughter's just like looking mischievously. But it's a good show. I want to try a recipe from it. They make hamburger steak, you know but
basically Salisbury steak. For those who don't know,
not really. It depends.
It's pretty much Salisbury.
It's
steak.
more like a meatloaf, but personal.
It's a Salisbury steak.
I have a different definition of what Salisbury steak is. But
that's what they call it in Cooking Mama.
Fair. Good point. I think that's a weird translation for that. Anyway,
isn't it?
Anyway, they cook it in like tomato sauce and like just for a little bit. Like they finish off in tomato sauce and they put a fried egg on top. Ooh. And I'm like, holy shit, that looks amazing.
I like putting fried eggs on like literally anything though.
It's
but I love fried eggs.
Good. Fried eggs taste good on anything.
Literally, yes.
Yeah.
I put a fried egg on top of basically a hash brown.
I mean, that's
amazing.
That's all you need to do.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I
also put like a layer of like mozzarella cheese in between.
That's what you do. I had fried egg on French fries. Like, that was the best lunch I've ever had.
We should just start our own restaurant. We call it Fried Eggs.
I mean, I'm 85% sure that exists. And, like,
I'm pretty sure it exists and it's successful.
Yes, We're late to the hipster train. Next
I mean, I still have my peanut butter sriracha cracker.
Next thing we should do is make our bacon restaurant. Because we're that kind of hipster.
With fried eggs on top.
Oh, that actually sounds really good.
And sriracha.
Yeah.
And peanut butter.
God, we are the most hipster douchebags. But yeah, Sweetness and Lightning is a really cute show.
Alright, I might actually start watching that, because I do love cooking anime. But one of my favorites is one called Cooking Master Boy. Mm-hmm. It's a really fucking old one. And
like, from the 2000s?
Older.
Yeah, I know, I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke.
It's like grandma old.
It's like Astro Boy old.
Yeah, I think it's about that.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, I don't know. I think it was
it's probably like in the 80s.
It was either late 80s or early 90s. I don't know the exact dates.
That is not... Astro Boy is way older than that.
I'm sure it is.
Astro Boy is from the 50s.
Astro Boy was one of Tezuka's things. So,
yes.
Yeah, so of course.
Tezuka is the god of manga.
The god of manga. Anyway, Cooking Master Boy. When I first watched this, it was on like a VHS tape at my aunt's house in Cantonese.
That's the best way to find a weird anime. It's like, I found it in a VHS in the back of a sewer. I had to talk to a hobo about it. I didn't know the VHS just said Super Bowl 1995. This was 1993, and
listen,
I had the best show I've ever seen.
I did some questionable things. There might have been some regrets.
Oh my god!
But
you killed a man. You killed a man for an anime VHS.
Listen, it was hard times. It was the late 90s, early 90s.
That sounds fair for the late 90s, actually. Killing someone for an anime VHS sounds about on par.
But no, and my aunt lent it to us, and we just took it home, we watched it. We were like, whoa, what is this? I don't know. And I only got to watch, 3 episodes of it, and it just stuck with me for some really weird reason. I guess it was just because of the animation and, making the food look amazing, basically. In that VHS tape, though, was also Dr. Slump, so I was watching that back to back.
That's awesome! Jesus, that is like anime royalty that you got into at the very beginning.
It honestly might actually have been the first anime I've ever watched without even knowing it was anime.
I mean, yeah.
It was that and Cantonese Sailor Moon. And then also Cantonese Kiki Special Delivery Service, which is a really weird thing to dub in Cantonese.
A little bit.
Not that I understood what they were saying.
Yeah. But, so Cooking Master Boy, have you ever been able to find it?
Oh, yeah. So, after high school, I was just looking up these shows, and Cooking Master Boy came up under related animes that I was watching, because you know how anime used to be on YouTube or Vio or whatever.
God, yeah.
So, I clicked on it, and I was like, this looks oddly familiar. And I just kept watching it, and I was like, oh my Jesus. This was the show I watched when I was little. Hilariously enough, it was still in the Cantonese dub, because for some reason I couldn't find the Japanese audio for it anywhere, and I could only find the the Cantonese and the Mandarin dub. And I was like, this is weird, but it fits, because they're in China.
Yeah, it's Chinese cooking.
Yeah, so it's basically a show about traditional Chinese cooking, mostly Shanghainese cooking, to Guangzhou cooking, which is, you're not going to see a lot of baking. And it's also very old, so it's not like we're going to have, new ovens and shit. So you're going to see people gutting fish.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And it's amazing. But they do
That's weird. It's weird that that's appealing to me. That shouldn't be. Gutting fish, I viscerally go, ew. But, the idea of it for cooking, I'm just like, yes, that's awesome.
Well, I grew up on, my family's also fishermen's.
Yeah.
So I grew up watching them gut fish.
Yeah, you're used
gut
to it.
Anything, literally, anyway, because we used to buy live chickens.
Oh, that's so cool. As a bit of an aside, just because you were naming Chinese cuisines earlier, we got bags of chips at my house. They're the Lay's new flavors, and one of them is Szechuan chicken.
Gross.
I know. I want to eat it.
So do I.
It's I think this is gonna be spicy.
It's probably gonna be spicy, sweet, and gross.
That's what Szechuan cooking is. Not the gross part.
Szechuan cooking is good in general.
Oh yeah.
Szechuan cooking translated into potato chips. That's questionable.
This is kind of tangentially related. You've reminded me of this. This isn't anime per se, but Szechuan cooking always makes me think of the original Iron Chef.
Interesting.
Because the Iron Chef China, his main style of cooking was Szechuan. He could cook other styles, of course, but he was born in that area of China.
Funny you should say that though, because
are you related to Iron Chef China? Is this going to be the biggest revelation of my life? I swear to God, I will shit myself. With joy.
Not here, please.
Don't worry, I'll hold it.
No, but funny you should say that because in Cooking Master Boy, we're going full circle now.
Yeah.
Later on into the series, they hold a contest where they have like the #1 cook of China,
as you do,
and they get like this. They become what is called "quote unquote" the super chef.
I'm loving this so much,
and it is like this official competition that goes around all of China because Chinese people love food.
Yeah,
but who doesn't love food? Let's be real. If you don't love food, you're not a person.
Seriously.
Anyway, so the kid goes into a competition, and he eventually wins, of course,
because he's the main character.
Funny thing about this show, though, because it makes no sense. In the beginning of the first episode you see, kid doesn't know how to cook for shit.
This sounds really familiar.
No, it's not even that. He knows nothing about cooking.
Yeah.
But the first meal he makes, perfect.
Yeah.
Tastes amazing.
He's
like, I just watched my mom do it. My mom's been dead for years, though.
It's anime main character stuff, you know?
Yeah, it's basically typical anime OP.
But I was bringing up Iron Chef because that was one of my first experiences with like Japanese television and Japanese cooking, and a thing that holds really close to my heart for no reason: cooking competitions.
You know what? I oddly like cooking competitions too. But also I like just
food in general. Yeah.
Yeah, and Gordon Ramsay.
I mean, who doesn't love Gordon Ramsay? But there's something like intrinsically amazing about watching people compete to cook.
There's something amazing about watching people cook.
Yeah, that too. But the old Iron Chef, I have swaths of that like memorized or like at least stuck in my subconscious. Like I remember him biting into the pepper right at the beginning. The guy who ran the thing, the character who owned the Iron Chef like stadium. In the beginning, he would always like look over his like sous chefs of everyone who worked for him and the cooking stations. And he'd pick up a yellow bell pepper and he'd bite into it, and I will remember that to the day I die. And there were like storylines and like
that's weird.
They started with only 3 Iron Chefs: Iron Chef Japan, China, and France. And France was the best and was a baller. And Iron
France
Chef
was a butt best.
He was the best. He was a baller.
And he was a butt.
He was a little bit butt. And Iron Chef Japan changed 3 times because the chef got old. It was just like the chef got old and a new chef came in. He had to retire. And they had different Iron Chefs later for like Italy and America.
Welcome to the Iron Chef podcast.
I really like Iron Chef. I could talk about Iron Chef for days. I want to rewatch all of it. I really love it.
Alright, let's move on.
Sorry, it's a very important part of my life.
Let's move on.
Well, you mentioned baking earlier.
I did.
Yeah.
There's 2 animes that I've watched that were baking heavy. One of them was...
I only know one, shit.
One of them was called Antique Bakery. And I think the manga serialized as a kind of like shonen ai / yaoi. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
But the anime doesn't have much of it in there. And if anything, it has one of the most realistic gay couples in all of
anime.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're a side character though. There's no romance in.
He only loves dough.
Actually, yeah, dough as in money, right?
No,
no, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, ish. Like he doesn't know a thing about baking. Honestly, he opens this bakery. He hires this. Oh God, it's so stupid.
This sounds like a really good series.
I
say semi-ironically.
It's actually not really that. This is
good.
And this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but it's not that good, in my opinion.
I've never heard of this show. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion.
The people who have watched Antique Bakery liked Antique Bakery.
I mean,
but basically,
there are people who like sort of online.
Basically, this show is about the main character they're like in their 30s.
Ooh.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
There's only one kid that's there that's like maybe 20. So the show starts out with this guy. He gets kidnapped as a kid.
As you do.
And during his kidnapping, the dude who kidnapped him kept feeding him cakes or attempting to feed him cakes. So you would think that he'd get a trauma or something.
Yeah. His trauma was, now I must make all the cake. I must make the cake punished.
But they never found his kidnapper. So the reason why he opened the bakery is so he can maybe find it himself.
Oh my god, that is the dumbest plot I've ever heard.
Yeah, right?
There is so much you can do just to get, like, writing is getting characters from A to B, right? So getting character to open up bake shop, you don't need a kidnapping in between.
Basically, yes. So, anyway.
That's so dumb.
It is really stupid. I can't even, like, I watched it when I was younger, when I was in high school, when I didn't know better. And then I rewatched again a couple of years ago, and I was just like, oh my god, this anime is really fucking stupid.
This is shit.
This is shit. Anyway, in the end, it kind of implies that he found his kidnapper as an old dude. But, anyway, it seemed like he made peace. But what the fuck ever.
The second bit,
it had a lot of nice bakery pieces, at least. If you're watching it just to see pretty bakery stuff, yeah, you have that. And kind of cute guys, I guess? Question mark? I don't know. I wasn't into it.
I feel like the second baking anime you're going to mention is much more interesting, even though it's kind of shit.
Actually, yeah, you got a new one. The second one is called Yumerio Patissiere, I think it's called.
Oh, I was thinking of something completely different.
Oh, well, this one is a cutesy anime.
Yeah.
I never finished it. I've been meaning to. It's not too bad, but it's... I forget what it was really about, but the main character's a girl, and she gets partnered up with 4 guys.
I know what anime this is. It's a micro-series, right?
No, 3 guys, sorry. Not 4 guys, 3 guys. And,
Yeah.
no, it's not a micro-series, it's a full-length. And I think they attend a baking school, and they all have their own dreams or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the guys all have their own specialties. So one is good at making chocolates, one's good at making candy, and the other one's good at making, like, pastries or some shit. And the girl's kind of like, I'm not that great, ha ha ha, but I got paired with the best guys.
So I'm just gonna cruise.
Yes. No, she wants to get better, because I think her dream is to, like, open a bakery or study out, study
This sounds
whatever.
exactly like a show I watched.
It's not an original plot. Let's just put it that way. It's not.
Is the principal band dating?
I don't know. I don't remember Anyway, I've only seen 22 episodes. It's
I've only seen 22 episodes of
and
it.
it was
I've only wasted like 11 hours of my life.
more like
I'm not doing the exact math.
more like
10.
7 hours.
Fair.
But I've been meaning to pick it back up again, but I don't know. I don't have that much time these days. But it's a cute anime. It's definitely for a younger crowd because they all look very, very moe.
I mean, moe is life. Moe is love. Moe is life. But that is not the anime I thought you were going to mention.
No, that's the only other one I know.
I was talking about anime you actually introduced to me.
Oh, the other, the
Yes.
bread one.
Well, it's baking. Bread is baking.
I forget that because, you know, I try to...
Block it out of your memory because it was
It's
actually
not-
really shitty.
Was it? I don't remember because I stopped very early on. Like
think
you went further down that hole than I did.
You probably stopped. Okay, let's just say the name of the show: Yakataki Japan.
Bread anime.
It is literally a bread fighting anime, except it's cooking competitions. It's about a guy who he loves bread. But he was raised in a very Japanese home. Like, he wasn't allowed to leave his home to journey to make bread until he made his grandfather, who only eats rice, understand that bread is good. And he made bread in a rice cooker, and his grandpa was like, yeah, I'm an old man, I'll dig it. I think he might have said that. And then he goes to join a bakery, and weird characters show up, and then they have baking competitions with, like, another baking company that they are owned by. It was a weird parallel for, like, manga stuff.
It was just a weird show.
He had powers a little bit, not explicitly, but his hands were warmer? No, colder.
No, I thought it was warmer.
Yeah, his hands were warmer, which allowed him to knead the dough better.
Yeah,
And
like he had like warmer than average hands.
there was a girl who had the reverse of that, she had extra cold hands, so she made like cold pastries. She made like a frozen tart.
This anime is stupid.
I was so dumb, and I remember really loving it. It was a very off the walls comedy. Dumb anime.
It wasn't the worst. I think it was good for our age at that point.
It was good for like high school.
Yeah, it was good for whatever age that we were at when we were reading it. But like, if I were to like reread or slash rewatch it, I'd probably be like, this is stupid.
It was a guy with an afro. He hung around.
I remember the candy girl, and she was like, I can't show people my hands because I burned them making candies. And then the other guy who makes, I forget, who was like the tough guy.
Oh yeah,
he's like, your hands are amazing.
He looks like he's from the Yakuza,
yeah.
but he makes the like most delicate pastries that look like little animals.
He was my favorite, and he was like,
best.
I love you because your hands show your hard work and everything. And I was like, best ship ever.
It was a super dumb show.
It really was.
But it did kind of paint the picture for today's big cooking anime.
I will have to say that my favorite character of all time in the Yakitate Japan thing, I think it was like one of the first competitions, and their, I guess, master of ceremonies or host, whatever.
Yeah.
He was just catching flying daggers and shit. Everything.
Was the best.
He was amazing, and then he got fucking shanked, but he's been catching like assassination attempts. Like, he's been foiling them, like, the entire time. Just like, this dude's amazing.
I thought, there's a very famous GIF from the show. It's the only GIF I see, like, outside of the show if you're talking about it, you know? Like, there was a bit where they were like, we have the superpower of baking too. Our fingers are super nimble. And it was these two guys in like black hoods that look like they're standing on each other's shoulders, and they're just wiggling their fingers like really awkwardly. And then the main character and like the tough guy are like, hey, we can do that too. And then just wiggling their fingers weird too. And then the normal guy is just watching it like, what the fuck? I just wanted to make bread. Right? And these guys are like, we have wiggly fingers. It's so dumb.
This is a dumb anime.
It was so good. But good, I mean bad. It was very bad.
Like, one day I might rewatch. I don't think I've ever actually watched the anime. I think I've only ever read it.
I've never watched the anime. I've seen GIFs from it, but mainly just the weird figure.
I think I've only ever read it. I don't even remember how I freaking picked it up. I think around the same time this one called Addicted to Curry came out.
I feel like I've read a little bit of that.
I think I've read like 3 chapters. Was there
curry recipes in that?
Possibly. I mean, it was a lot of curry, and I love curry.
Side story: I made Japanese curry the other day.
Yeah.
It was I made it. I think it was a bit too thin. I had too much material to not enough of the curry stuff.
Possibly.
But it was super good.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it again.
Please do, and then give me some.
I think I still have a little bit, but it's like a week or two old.
I would still eat it.
Sweet. I'll remember if it's still alive. I'll bring it over next time. Anyway, sorry.
Or just make a new batch. And
I'm gonna make a new batch eventually. Sorry, that was a way off sidetrack, but I had to tell you it was super good. Shokugeki no Soma. Food Wars.
Food Wars
is the current big cooking anime. It's about like food battles. Essentially, Yukihiro Soma. I don't remember the main character's name.
I never remember the main characters.
Soma. His father runs a small, like, meal of the day kind of restaurant, and his father's like, I'm closing up shop for 3 years. And his son's like, I only want to work here in my life. I have no other ambitions. I want to be a chef here. And dad's like, go to this cooking school. If you can do that, you can work here. And he's like, fuck you, Dad. I'm going to do it anyway. So he goes to the cooking school, and it turns out the cooking school is, like, the hardest cooking school on earth. Like, literally,
of course.
Literally at the acceptance ceremony for high school, the principal goes, or the director of the school goes, last year, 600 freshmen entered their first year here. By their second year, there was only 60 of them. Most of you will not pass.
Damn.
Because they work off a method of, like, stones hitting against each other to sharpen them. And if you are a not strong enough stone, you're going to get broken. It's that kind of metaphor. But it has good results. It's one of those things where it's like, it's harsh, but if you are competent, you can survive. But it's weird cooking, but intelligent cooking.
It's kind of like schools for stenographers. It's a 90% dropout rate.
Yeah. The basic story is him, the main character, because all the characters except for him went to the middle school of the school and just graduated up. He's the only character to transfer in. which is a big thing. And then on the first day, he's told to give, like, a speech because he's the only person to transfer in. That's a big deal. He goes, "You are all my stepping stones. I look forward to working with you." So everyone's targeting him the entire time. So it's him having to, like, battle assholes and, like, learn how to cook different ways other than the ways his father did. Learn actually real cooking methods.
I've been meaning to pick up Food Wars for, like, literally the past year and a half now.
It's really difficult to get into because
I figured
there is a lot of fan service in the beginning. Like,
yeah, you've mentioned. Like, I think you even mentioned the podcast once. Yeah, it's possibly.
And it honestly is getting better as the series goes on. There's still moments. I think every food battle has at least one moment where a character is orgasming because they're eating and are naked. But the metaphors for them eating the food get more creative as the series goes on too. My favorite one is in a recent episode. There's this one guy who his whole shtick is that he copies someone. He stalks them for like a month. Figures out what they're making before they make it for the food, for like their competition, and then makes it and improves it.
Yep.
So he makes it better than what they are going to make it because he figures out like how their plan is, and he made it was like a delicate Italian pastry thing, and the judges are like, "Why we won't accept that sort of like barbaric nature here," but they're eating it and he's like, "But it's so delicate and tasty. Oh, why is Senpai so rough, but we love him?" Wait, shit, what? They all turned into like maidens for a split second. And they're all like older guys, and the director's there, and he's like this massively built guy with a huge beard, and he's just like in a miniskirt, like in a sailor suit too. It's
that's amazing.
It's really funny. There's one coming up in the anime where something happens and they're all inspired and they feel like they're all going to like an amusement park. They all feel like they're going to an amusement park and they're in high school again. And it's 4 girls and they're all like, "Yeah, we're in high school again." And the middle guy is another big, huge, buff guy who's just like frolicking with them.
That's my favorite.
It's the best. Also, it has more of a story as it progresses. But up until a certain point, it's very episodic. Yukihira Soma, the main character, he has a problem, he deals with the problem, he is about to get expelled from school but doesn't. Because that is literally every 5 seconds. And then they have the autumn election, which is an actual tournament. And then after that, this is one of my favorite parts. They have the school festival, right? At some point,
yeah.
There's a bit between that, but they have the school festival, and where all the people are met. You're allowed to open up a stand to make money. So the main character's like, "Oh, sweet, this will be fun. I'll open up a stand. I'll make some money." He opens up the stand. He learns that day, if you don't make a profit, you're expelled. And he's just like, "What? Really? I hate this school." God, everything. Everything just wants to expel you. But it gets more of a story where it's at right now. Where there's someone like...
You find that it's usually the case in like a lot of these
shonen.
Type of like shonen type animes. Like in the beginning it's kind of like all silly and whatever, and then it gets a plot.
I mean, it's
like,
still very silly, let me tell you.
Like remember Reborn? It started off with just like...
Oh, God. Reborn got kicked in the balls and changed gender halfway through.
Yeah, you know what, you're right.
Like, it changed what it was. Like,
yeah, but, like, in the beginning, it was way different. It was just like, oh, okay.
Like, there are still
like
signs in Food Wars of what it is. Like, it's just evolved into something more. Reborn, like, walked in one day to school wearing punk attire, and then the next day walked in wearing a cheerleader outfit. No questions, just completely different.
And nobody questioned it.
Yeah. No, everyone questioned it. We were just all like, "Oh, that's kind of awesome."
We questioned it, and then there were no answers.
In a different way.
Anyway, this concludes our podcast.
Oh yeah, we're sorry.
Why did you apologize?
I don't know. I apologize for everything.
Anyway,
any recommendations real fast of shows we didn't mention today?
No. I don't really watch a lot of food cooking anime stuff. I watch a lot of animes with food in it. Like, if you just like looking at really good food, Studio Ghibli, their animated foods look amazing.
They're fucking great.
Yeah.
I recommend Wakakazake, both the live action drama and the short form anime. It's about a office worker girl, a woman who, after work, likes to have a drink and eat at, like, a restaurant bar.
You know, an honorable mention should be Bartender.
Bartender.
It's technically not a food cooking anime, but
alcohol's
it's
a food.
but it's consumable.
Yeah, a Bartender is one of my favorite animes of all time.
It's a pretty good one. I never got a chance to finish it because when I was watching it, it was current.
Oh,
so I watched until I started that way long ago. So
yeah, I got into it much later than you.
Yeah, I remember telling you about it, and then you forgot, and then you rediscovered it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I watched it until it was current. Then I picked up the manga and read that until it was current, and then I stopped because I got current.
You should check up on the anime again.
Yeah, I really should. Good. Yeah, I have it. I mean, you gave it to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bartender should pick that up. Everybody.
And the manga Hell's Kitchen.
You mean Gordon Ramsay has a manga?
We wish he did.
Yeah, I do.
No, it's about literally a devil of food possesses he chooses a random Japanese kid, kind of half possesses him, and goes, "I'm going to turn you into the greatest chef ever, and then I'm going to eat you."
I remember this now. You told me about this. We might have had a podcast about this.
I think I mentioned it in our manga cast.
Probably. Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Alright. Well, I've eaten this.
I've eaten this! You did it. I had to do it. I was. It's rotten!
It's frozen! Anyway, where can we find you?
I am on Twitter at MangaHead, probably. And
One day.
I have my anime blog, anime reviews and other stuff.blogspot.com. Anime reviews and other stuff.blogspot.com.
You can find this podcast on the FeelsCast.wordpress.com or on our Tumblr at FeelsCast.tumblr.com.
Or on our YouTube. Hopefully you find us on YouTube.
You can find us on our YouTube on our Tumblr page, so you just follow the links.
Please follow our YouTube. We want a real page. We just want a real website we can post.
I think we need like 500 subscribers or something.
It has to be less than 500. There are people with like less than that have a real page.
300?
I don't know. Just follow our damn YouTube. Or else I'll serve you bad food. See, I tagged it in.
Goodbye.
Cuisine. That was from Iron Chef.